Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to be back.
Yeah, are you excited for daylight savings time?
It's already happened.
I know it. Are you excited about it?
I've got over it.
Did you
been
actually
like 4
have to
days.
change any clocks, or are we far enough along in technology that we no longer actually have to manually switch our clocks?
Yeah, the only effect it had on me was like my old day, like my mum's, like my mum and my dad, and that ringing me up being like, "Have you turned all the clocks back? Have you turned all the clocks back?" It's like, no, I haven't. They just happen. I forgot. I was like in work the next day, and so all the clocks went back. My alarm still went off at 8 o'clock. Like, I got up at 8 o'clock.
So you got like an extra hour of sleep and didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's for farmers, isn't it? I guess.
No, it's for business.
It's all
Farmers
bullshit.
don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Farmers
the
don't.
sun comes up regardless of what time the clock says.
Yeah.
I don't even know why it is different in UK and US in terms of when you change the time, because
Set by
we
different
already did
legislatures.
it days
stupid.
ago.
It's stupid. We should just get rid of daylight savings time, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion.
Go
Having
back
done
to
no real research into it whatsoever. I'm making my hardline political stance. I'm a single issue voter.
Vote Neil 2016.
exactly.
You don't vote, Neil. He just takes it.
Yeah, I will. If I ever run for president, that's going to be my platform. Is I will get rid of daylight savings time.
And you'll cut the Department of Education.
Mandatory D&D time.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Department of D&D.
Has anyone watched?
Tabletop game.
I don't want to spoil this, but has anyone watched the new episode of Walking Dead yet? The second episode.
Don't watch it.
Oh
Yeah, I
no,
don't watch it.
I don't watch
All
Walking
right.
Dead.
Well, the new character in it, my girlfriend was like, "This guy's stupid. Why would he do that?" But I was like, "That's fucking awesome. That's exactly what I would do." Wait till you see it. You'll see.
Was this like a convert? She was like, "This guy's an idiot. Who would do that?" And you were just like, "That is exactly what I would do."
Yeah. Anyone in chat knows what I'm talking about. That was definitely what I would do.
All right. Nice. So, what have the rest of you guys been doing other than watching Walking Dead? It's been like 3 weeks since we played.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things. Nothing important because I don't do important things. But I played the Dark Souls 3 DLC, and I was really disappointed.
I have to do that.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. Yeah, some people liked it, some people didn't. A lot of people don't like it being short, which I guess is an issue. But I just thought it was really mediocre content. But then I played Bloodborne for Halloween, and that picked my spirits back up because that game is awesome, and the expansion for it was awesome. Oh my god, I love everything about that game.
Bloodborne?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like the other Souls games, but it's Lovecraftian horror in its setting instead of dark fantasy. It's so good. I love it. It's my kind of writing.
Has anyone picked up Civ 6?
I played a bit, 2 hours about, and it had too many issues for me that they still have to fix.
Like what?
It's good, but like Barbarians, they should give you an option about the aggressiveness of Barbarians, because you pretty much always have to build military.
Oh, it's great. I love it. I love the number of barbarians. I wish I could turn it up even further.
But in terms being aggressive is too easy, way too easy to play very aggressively early. Because you can just storm on, take cities that don't have defenses. And
but the moment a city gets walls, it becomes very hard to defeat.
Yeah, and the AI is, well, shit.
That's why I held off on buying it. I heard the AI just doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, well, the Civilization AI has always been kind of shitty. Oh.
Yeah, it at least seemed like they were trying to make it seem somewhat human in Civ 5 and Civ 4. I heard they're just completely irrational.
No, Civ 6 AI is no worse than Civ 5. They're both complete idiots.
I think they have to maybe tone down the reasons why they declare war on you, because I had it several times that I discovered in AI, and they immediately declared war because what do I know? Denmark declares war because I don't have a navy. Well, Egypt declares war because I don't have a big army. And then they're so stupid in war. Really stupid.
I
don't know,
think
man. Sorry,
I
go
think-
ahead, Sean.
Oh yeah, I think it was the Co-optional podcast. They got Quill18 on it, and he's apparently a big Civ player. And he mentioned he beat his first game of it on DD difficulty, and he was kind of mad about that. He didn't feel like it should be possible for somebody like him. But
On
the
DD.
AI, yeah, he ramped up to the highest difficulty, and just the AI would still do dumb things like send workers through his territory while they were at war.
That's weird because I've put like 62 hours into Civ 6 and I've never had an enemy send a worker anywhere near my lines. And if you're doing a small map, like a really small map with like 2 AI, it is pretty easy. But once you get to larger maps with more AI, it gets much harder because it's pretty easy in the early game to kind of rush certain tech and then take down their walls and crush them. But as it gets on further and further, it gets reasonably difficult with the numbers of people out there, and once you start getting ahead, everyone else slowly turns on you, and then just by sheer numbers you can't do anything.
Yeah, but I saw it pretty often because I didn't play so much of it, but I saw it pretty often that AI don't upgrade units or are just stupid with their units. Like having all of their army got one city, what do I know, in the South Pole when you are taking their capital or something like that. It happens often.
Yeah, I mean the AI could be better, but I feel like the game is difficult to critique because if you see the AI, if you're attacking their main city and they're not really defending it, it seems kind of stupid, but without full map awareness, like they could be at war with another civilization elsewhere and their units tied up, or maybe they're bankrupt and can't make any units. Like it's a game of imperfect knowledge, so it's hard to tell what is bad AI and what is circumstantial difficulty and the AI like not actually being able to properly respond because of proper in-game mechanics. You know what I mean?
I will say that if bad AI is the only issue Civ 6 has on launch, it's leagues ahead of Civ 5 on launch. I got that game on launch. That was the biggest fucking mistake of my life.
Even so,
Yeah, the only thing I really didn't like about it was it would like jump to a unit to move, and sometimes it would jump to a unit and select it, and then as you're issuing it a move command, it would jump to another unit. But there's a setting in like a user config file that you can just turn that off so it doesn't auto jump to units, which is a better way of playing in general, I think. So now that that's done, I have no complaints. I'm in love with Civ 6.
I can say it is a better game than Civ 5. At least basic Civ 5.
It's good.
And yeah, and I can only hope it will get better. Well, at least I played Rome 2 when it launched, and
Oh god, I heard Rome 2 was just terrible at launch.
yeah, it was. It was just a mess.
I avoided it along with Warhammer, especially Warhammer. That was even worse because of the Blood and Gore DLC, where they had the audacity in a Warhammer game to charge you money for blood. And the worst part was the blood wasn't even bloody enough for Warhammer. Like if it's Warhammer, people should be exploding into showers of gore and body parts should be flying all over the place. And it's just like pools of blood. Like that's
They are not. Don't even start it. All right, you don't know. We've talked about this before. Warhammer Total War is pretty good. Like I haven't put loads of hours into it, but it's definitely
It's
definitely
just
a good
different
game.
from
Yeah.
just different from the rest.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I
but-
know what you mean about the map being a bit confusing. I think that's something that you said, but you kind of just get used to it.
Yeah, one big problem with the Warhammer games is, well, the DLC policy, but that's not on the developer, more on Sega.
The last one I played was Shogun 2, and that had decent DLC.
Yeah, after that it got really weird and bad.
Yeah.
With Rome 2 it started.
It's alright, Attila's better than Rome 2. It's best war. I'm so happy with Attila and Civ 6 that I don't think I'll ever need another Civilization game or another Total War game.
Is Civ 6 really better than Civ 4?
You know, it's been so long since I played Civ 4 that I don't even remember anything about it.
I really didn't like Civ 5 compared to Civ 4, but I probably didn't put as much time into it.
Civ 6 is beautiful. The way that they take happiness back to single city happiness rather than global happiness, which is great. And they change it to amenities, and now it's affected by war weariness and by these different things. It's more complicated, and it took a few games to adjust to, but now that I'm adjusted to it, I think it's a really good system. And
Sounds good, because some of the things you've just mentioned there, they're like, that's how it was in Civ 3 and 4.
yeah, Civ 1 was like that too, where each city had its own happiness.
Yeah, Civ 5 is what did the global happiness. One thing I want to see is corporations again. I'd like to see corporations in Civ 6.
Is that a Civ 4 thing?
I think it was in Civ 5 as a community mod. I don't remember which game it was originally in, but oh my god. You could basically just make giant corporations and spread them to other countries.
How is that different than religion?
Instead of generating culture, they generate gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then
that
like
was Civ 4, wasn't it?
I think it was Civ 4. I'm pretty sure. Because I know I've played a Civ game with it in it. And Civ 4 is definitely the one that I spent the most time on.
Didn't you have to found it with like a great engineer or something? Well, a great merchant.
I don't remember. I was like 12 last time I played Civ 4. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It was a good game though. Right, should we play some D&D?
Well, let's see what Bastion's been up to the last couple of weeks, and then we'll play some D&D.
Okay.
Well, mostly work, but too eventful. Too sad that we couldn't do the one-shot. Well, now I have a one-shot character to spare. Sean and I want to do a con duo. Yeah, nothing too interesting. I now have a new PC. A really, really good PC.
How much?
How much?
Yeah, how much did you drop on it?
Over 1,000, so much I say. A lot of money. But hey, first thing I do, start with just 3. Everything on max. Sweet FPS.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What game do you play that requires all the FPS?
Witcher 3, I did kind of a test, but Guild Wars is kind of packing a punch. Then all the other games are coming out nowadays. I mean, my old PC was not bad. It was upper middle class, but it kind of had its limits. And I didn't want to.
I like thinking of PC builds as
Class.
social economic classes.
Yeah.
It's a good way of doing it.
No, it's definitely a good idea though, because especially with how common it's been to get really shitty like PC ports, really poorly optimized PC builds for games like Deus Ex was not well optimized. Dark Souls 3 was not well optimized. Nothing's been optimized well this entire year. Like 2016 has just been a really terrible year in that regard.
2016 has just been a really terrible year, period.
People die, terrible PC ports, the most important part.
Yeah, very, very few good things have happened this year.
At least it's not 2014.
You know, Hardcore Heroes has happened in 2016. That's pretty
Started
good.
in 2015, man.
Well, yeah, well, you know.
Started in 2015. Good year.
Didn't really get going until Croak died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Been long enough now, guys. Come on.
And on that note, why don't we talk about where we left off 3 weeks ago? Where are y'all?
Shall I do the recap?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we started back in Shirebrook after a good night of sleep. Don't know how it was with Malachi having the bleeding and smelling dragon head in his house. But, well, after night, someone woke up Van, a messenger from the Baroness. Baroness was it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she ordered him to her and gave him a letter to deliver to I forgot his name.
Count Dwarf.
Count of Newfort, who
Yeah,
just lost his father and was appointed count. I should have taken notes. Yeah, and he gathered Malachi and Kine and Jeeves because we were going to use the carriage. And well, after a few things bought, like rations or other stuff, we made our way in the direction of Newfort. On the way, we did pass through my village, Windshire, and made a terrible history. Neil made it personal because the whole village was gone, and we discovered that a magical dome, like over the village of the dwarves, or the whole village of the dwarves, appeared over it. We tried to dispel it or discern what kind of magic it was, illusion magic. The dispel only happened in cubes in this giant dome. So, well, we found some special tracks and decided to come back later and look if there is something. But we got discovered by a giant who came to the village to gather up some people to sell somewhere as slaves. We killed it after he captured Malachi for a short time and the heroic Jeeves.
And killed Bear.
And killed him.
Yeah.
Neil, you were a little too tickled by that.
Yeah, that wasn't funny.
I mean, he threw Bear into the woods.
I think the funnier part was he did that to Van, and Van just kind of like got up and like stretched back out a little bit, and then ran back to go kill him.
Yeah, he tried to flee, but we caught up and killed him. Malachi finished him off with magic missile, I think.
Escaped his bag.
And Jeeves, well, kind of got ignored again by Malachi. Will his affection ever be rewarded? But at least he didn't have to walk back to the village. He could take a horse. And we made our way to Newfort. The journey did go along nicely. And we did arrive. And to Van's horror, we discovered that in Newfort, a group of people had gathered around a speaker, and this one, well, said some bad things about cheese. Also, they were roasting swans alive and serving them as food. And we did end on someone handing us a plate of roasted swan, asking if we want something, and to hell with cheese.
To hell with cheese.
Yeah. Also, before we move on, can we just mention that elite tier idea that Nick had with casting mending on that letter so that we could read its contents?
Oh, yeah.
Very clever.
No one should know about it because no one will trust Malachi ever with something again.
I mean, he's never really had the best joke. He's like, let's just send a death letter to Carrick. Let's just make a letter explode in his face.
Yeah. And, well, can I start with something?
As long as it's not an action.
It is an action.
All right, well, I think where we left off is Van Helsing said, hold on, let me go deal with this guy, and started to push his way through the crowd to go and murder him.
Oh, no. I think you're taking me a little bit out of character.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I
Just
think
representing
it's
your
SWAT
actions.
then.
I was
so
thinking
yeah,
about that.
we can all come into play, but it's starting with Van Helsing pushing his way through the crowd. So if you guys want to act, go for it, but these things are already in motion.
I
right
take
now,
a plate of swan and start eating and say to Kine, this is going to be good.
Why don't you give it to Jeeves? He looks hungry. Van, and I rush after him and try to hold him on his armor back.
Van, before confronting the guy, I think Van is trying to like talk to people in the crowd and be like, does he do this? Does he do this often? Kind of like indicating up to the man proselytizing.
No, it's It's a new thing. I guess he's here for because all the foreign dignitaries are coming through town, making a good show of it. But he's been talking about it for a while. I think his name's Thaladad, something like that. Theralad.
Right.
What do you think
I catch
about
up?
it?
You know,
He's got a good
people-
point here. Cheese is kind of a useless goddess. When was the last time she made my life any better?
I mean, when was the last time Verasi made your life any better? Would you still spurn Verasi?
Well, I mean, my uncle, he was suffering real bad, and Ross might be a bitch, but she ended his suffering for him, and I'm thankful for that. I don't know.
I think
This
Van
Stero
is-
lad's got a pretty good point. Kind?
Do I catch up with him?
Yeah, you catch up to him while he's talking to this person. You get a hold on his armor.
Van, what are you doing?
Just gauging people's interest.
Good. How about we do that not so aggressively looking at this guy?
Some guy stands up on a table with a live but plucked swan in his one hand, and a metal spit in the other. And to the delight of the crowd around him, just spits the bird still living. And the crowd goes up with a big cheer. And he takes the suffering bird and just tosses it over to fire.
How many people are we talking, Neil?
30, 40?
And it's just the one guy is he on a podium or something?
Let me see what spells I
No,
have
there's
today.
Thaladad who's doing all this talking. Then there's a couple of people to help, pluck the birds, roast the birds, serve the birds. So in total, it looks like maybe 5 to 8 people. There's a crowd around here. It's kind of hard to judge who's with him and who's just watching, but 5 to 8.
So they're not all like together on a podium.
No. Thaladad is standing on like a little soapbox. This other guy stood up there to spit the bird. There's a brazier nearby, and a guy plucking swans. Another guy sitting on a cage of swans, and a couple other people passing around wooden plates with bits of swan on them.
I will lean to Van and whisper to him, whatever you do, what they are doing is probably not illegal. So please don't get the guards on us. We only have to deliver a letter. I don't want to be thrown into jail. I know this is kind of criminal to the animals and cheese, but don't know what we can do. Please, no magic.
I'll see what I can do.
I look at Malachi suspiciously, and
My brow is furrowed. I'm
don't know
listening to you, and I'll go over to you and I'll say, Kine, what are you so afraid of? These peasants.
Well, yeah, these are peasants, but if you start casting anything, we have the city guard on our back fast.
I'm not going to kill anyone. What's the point of being a wizard if you can't assert a bit of authority?
And you think knocking them out or enchanting them is legal?
Well, I don't really care, but Van, are you really just going to let him? You going to let him do this? You talk about this shit all the time, and this is the first other person I've heard talk about it. And he's sitting here with a cage full of swans, and you wear that swan around your neck, and he's stabbing them all and roasting them, and they taste nice, but that's not the point.
Were you eating one?
I just tasted it. I'm sorry.
He's got a plate of swan in his hand.
Neil, I'm going to make my way to one of the guys who are close to with the speaker. Isn't with the speaker.
That's with the speaker?
Yeah.
All right, so you go up to one of the guys who's passing out plates of swan. He looks at you and goes, roasted swan, the very finest of cheese, served up fresh for you.
I take the plate. Yes, thank you. Just a question. Where did you get the animals?
We bought them from the farmer down the road.
Swans are expensive.
For a worthy cause. You know, we could use one less goddess. What a waste of time. Hey, did you hear about Cheese and the really hung guy? Oh man, it's a good one.
I don't know. Maybe I don't want to hear it. But
Are you sure?
anyway, yes, I'm sure. Why are you so concentrated on she's being about the outer beauty? I heard that she's also about the inner beauty, beauty of the soul.
Oh, please, don't tell me you're a Cheese sympathizer. Look, sure, she's supposed to cover those other domains too, but when you hear people talking about Cheese, it's always like, oh, blessed Cheese, I managed to get my pimples removed in time for the ball. You know, it's a bunch of shit, man. Fucking worthless goddess. No one ever looks at these other parts of her. Sorry, man, I don't got time to explain it. Talk to Thaladad. He's better at explaining these things. I gotta go pass out these plates.
Okay. And I'm making my way to Jeeves. Hungry, Jeeves? You look hungry. Here, have some swan. And going back-
If I have to.
I just leave him with the plate and I'm going back to Van.
All right. Van's going to talk to a couple people in the crowd before making a move. Because I feel like if I had about an hour and a half to prepare, I'd be in a much...
Wait, are you
happier
saying you
position.
need to nap and then think about something for a while? Maybe pray on it for a bit?
Pray for some guidance? Maybe something like that. But basically, I want to gauge if this guy is going to be doing it for much longer, and if he's going to be doing it tomorrow. Because if either of those things are true, I think I'm going to. I think I might retreat from the battle in order to win the war. But if not, we might have to worry about what to do in the moment.
So how are you going to determine if these guys are going to be around without drawing their suspicion?
I'm going to mention that we're busy right now. Like we're busy. We're doing an errand. But I don't want to miss the show. Like, I'm wondering if there's another time I can come by to catch it.
So you say this to to Thaladad, the leader?
Probably not
Or
the
one of
leader, but one of the people helping him.
Okay. First off, the guy hands you a plate of roast swan.
Oh, I can't. I'm on duty.
You can't eat meat on duty? What sort of duty
Can't.
do you have?
Can't eat anything on duty.
You can't eat on duty.
No.
Dear God. Is your wife
Yeah,
pregnant?
it's a rough
Is that
life.
what it is? Is that the sort of duty you're facing? When my wife was pregnant, I couldn't eat anything that she couldn't eat. But, you
That
know, she ate
sounds like
everything,
a
so it was
horrible
fine. Women, right? Oh, man. Anyway, you should have some swan. I promise I won't tell anyone.
Van's internally screaming.
Is the guy he's on a podium, right? Can I
He's
get
on
behind
like a
him?
small soapbox.
Could I get behind him?
It would be awkward. There's like his people around him. They've kind of formed a semicircle of roasting, and there's nobody behind him. It'd be really awkward, visibly, if you snuck around.
Maybe not right behind him, but I mean, unless he's close to a wall.
No,
surely.
he is. He's not like blocking the streets, right? He's he's near the front gate, backed up against a building, kind of using that as like a kind of yelling out into the streets, not on a corner, but on a walkway.
Okay, well, I won't do anything.
Yeah.
Just wait.
So, talking to this guy, Van says, listen, I have to do my job right now, but is the show going to be going on much longer or going on tomorrow? Because I would be remiss to miss this performance.
Oh, yeah, we'll be keeping this going as long as there are people coming for their oaths and all that stuff.
So if I come
writs
back
of homage
tomorrow,
and all
I
that
should-
shit.
Right, so if I come back tomorrow?
I hope so. Hey, if you bring a swan or two, we can keep it going even longer. Got a couple of donations so far of swans. It's real great.
Right. Well,
What did you say you
Thanks.
did again? I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted you with my own hilarious jokes.
I'm a messenger.
Oh, and you can't eat while you're delivering messages?
Technically, I'm not supposed to stop to talk to people either. We're supposed to be very narrow-minded when we're delivering messages.
Ah, I gotcha. Here, don't worry about it, he says, handing you a plate.
Thanks. Van kind of takes the plate.
The guy
And,
grabs another plate and turns away from you to address another passerby.
Well, I want to walk past Neil and go on, Kyle. What are you going to say? Because this might change things.
Okay, yeah, because I want to go kind has an idea. I want to go round to the crowd and approach some people from time to time and just go to them. Well, kind of feast, right?
I won't call it a feast, but hey, who's gonna turn down free fowl?
Well, do you think this is such a great idea? I
Are you
heard.
kidding? Free swan?
Well-
Oh my god, this is the best. I only get meat like once a month. I love it.
Well, if you think about it, I heard cheese is kind of liked by the dwarfs. You know, beauty of the stone for them. And, well, the count just lost his father and is maybe not in the best mood right now. If he sees this, I don't want to be associated with it.
Well, then you should leave.
Well, I don't. Fine, I probably. But do you think it's a good idea to hang around here? You probably have.
Oh, come on. If he's gonna arrest someone, he's not gonna arrest me. He's gonna arrest them. Besides,
Yeah.
the Count jailing people for speaking their mind about the gods? That's pretty sketchy territory. I don't think our country's come that far. You know, it's been pretty good lately.
What a progressive society.
Well, if you think about what just happened the last weeks in this country, up in Anvil, you hear about Misty Rapids. I heard they have some dark shit up there.
Oh yeah, but I mean that is Greene County. Down here in Split County, we have our shit together. We're not like those fucking psychopaths up there. Did you hear what's going on in Cauldron? I hear that they launched an entire siege against Misty Rapids. Those fuckers are insane, you know? Fucking Greene County sorts of folks. That's what happens when you live away from the ocean. You lose sight of the horizon, metaphorically and literally, and it's just fucking Greene County people. They're the worst. That deep center of the country.
Well, if you think so, don't say I didn't warn you. Well, I have other stuff to do. Don't let me detain you. Bye.
Have a good day.
And I just do this on some points in the crowd.
All right, Nick.
All right, wait. Yes. So as we go to leave, right, we're all walking off together. We go past the guy who's handing up.
Leave?
I don't think
All right.
they're leaving. I think you're leaving.
No, I'm not leaving that. You know the guy who's handing out plates.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for him. I'm just gonna stand near him and wait for him to hand a plate to someone. And I'm just gonna like knock it out of his hand and smash it on the floor.
All right. You
Wait,
knock it to the ground. The guy says,
Okay.
"Hey, what the fuck?" The guy who's taking the plate goes, "Hey, that was gonna be mine." Immediately squats down to start picking up the swan off the ground and put it back on the plate.
Just like stare at the guy.
People see this and start to back up, and a small circle begins to appear around you. And the chief supporter who's handing out the meat looks to his leader, looks to Theralad, and Theralad just gives him a nod. And the guy
Hold on.
says,
So
"You got a
everything
problem
is-
with what we're doing here? Are you one of them swan supporters? One of them all animals have a right to life and we should only be eating corn and potatoes sort of men?"
That's one reason.
I think seeing the crowd like surround Malachi and everything get very silent, I think Van Helsing is probably going to step into this circle. Because I don't want our wizard to just be ripped apart by a mob of angry people.
I'm going to step on the border of the circle, hands on my sword, not drawn, but just ready.
All right, so
in
the
case
two of
something
you
happens.
step in to back up your bro.
I'm not stepping in.
Hey, wait.
I'm stepping on the border of the circle.
Yeah,
This guy
but you've
doesn't have
got
a weapon, does
armor
he,
and
Neil?
a shield on your back, and
Yeah.
you've like got your hand on your sword. I mean, you might not be in the circle, but that's a pretty clear sign of support, or at least
No,
potential
But I
violence.
could draw my sword against Malachi.
You could, but it's a sign of support for someone. There's, the scene is heating up. Theralad at this, gets on his tippy toes on his soapbox and says, people, there's no need for violence here. We have a message of peace for all of us. Peace of
Peace.
mind and peace of soul. We should get rid of this demon goddess and cleanse ourselves without this superficial nonsense. You there, old man, why is it that you disrupt our ways, disrupt our enlightenment?
Tell me, my peaceful friend, is skewering and torturing animals is that part of your peaceful means?
Torture?
Or is it mere-
They're simply dying. We boil lobsters
being
alive. Why not
skewered
cook a swan
alive.
alive? They're animals. They don't quite matter. I mean, what? It lives for a few moments. Whatever. Who gives a shit? No humans are dying. No dwarves are dying. They're only stupid animals. Right, everybody?
What
Right?
a convenient excuse. Pushing the message of peace by slaughtering animals.
Looks like we got another vegetarian in our midst, everybody. You Nadinus worshippers, all the same. Don't you know Nadinus also condones the killing of animals for food? This is no different.
So they've been skewering and roasting these swans alive, right?
Oh, yeah.
So is one of the ones that's been skewered still alive?
The last one that was skewered is now dead. It's been roasting over the fire for like 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay.
But
Is
there's
the-
a live
is the cage-
swan that's being plucked.
Is the cage in reach with all the swans in it?
There's a man sitting on it. It's maybe 15 feet from you. It's a little bit behind the crowd.
Oh, okay. So the guy who's in the circle with me, what's he doing?
He's
said
looking
something
a
to
little
me.
bit nervous. Theralad's been talking, so he's kind of doesn't have to do anything, but he's not backing down. He's keeping himself upright and facing you, but you can see like he's glancing at Theralad for direction and letting Theralad kind of take the reins while he's being the physical presence.
I'm going to step to him, to the guy, and
He backs up.
Hey,
He starts to back up in the crowd.
just casually. No, it's no need for violence here. You're all peaceful, right? I look into the eyes of the crowd.
The crowd starts to back up a little bit. You guys are not too far from the front gate, and you can hear the sounds of guards saying, "Make way! Make way!" And coming from your right side where the gate is, pushing through the crowd are a set of 2 town guards. They start kind of making their way towards the circle and say, "All right, everybody, that's enough. Break it up. We got reports of violence over here. Potential bloodshed."
No, my dear fellow.
No.
violence,
Well,
just-
I heard that there was an altercation going on. Now, I'm all in favor of people speaking their mind, but what's this? You got some swords? You intimidating these folk?
These violent thugs are trying to harass us just because my friend here is a cleric.
All right, I've had enough of this. You guys with the swans, take your shit somewhere else or come back another day. I'm gonna break up this party for today. That's it. No more proselytizing one way or the other. Come back another day. We're not having any violence, not during this week. You can throw your hissy fits another time. You can have your protests. We got foreign dignitaries coming. Everyone break it up.
Thank you, sir. I'm here representing Baroness Valmont. Can we have an audience with the Count?
Yeah. Keeps over that way. All right. Takes a good look around, and then he and his buddy turn around and walk right back towards the gate.
Shit, that kind of cock-blocked what I was going to do. But that's fine. That gives me an opportunity to memorize Enthrall.
If they come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
What does he do with the
I'm
cage?
thinking of classic, like, protagonist-antagonist fashion. When they're, like, breaking up the crowd, Van, like, stares into the eyes of the Theralad guy, and Theralad stares back, and they lock eyes as enemies for a moment. Perfect.
Definitely.
What happens to the cage of swans?
One of the guys picks it up as they start cleaning up their area. You know, one guy takes a bucket of water and douses the hot coals in the brazier. They just start cleaning up their shit and moving out. It takes them.
I mean,
a
can
while.
I just go over and try and grab the cage?
If you would like to, yes, but that would be theft. But you can do it if you want.
If I see Malachi move for the cage, I think Van's probably going to try and stop him.
Yeah, kind to.
You
Yeah,
guys
I
would
say.
expect Malachi to just grab a cage?
Hmm?
But you guys would expect him to...
Okay, we're supposed to be going to the keep, right?
Yeah.
And they're breaking everything up. So I feel like if he starts walking to the cage, I get the idea that he's trying to start some more shit. I think that was a kind of a cue of stop starting shit from the guards.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so Malachi starts walking over to the guy who's holding the cage of swans, and Van shows up.
What?
Time
You
to-
really don't care?
Don't
we
worry.
can't start anything now. Come on. man.
Sometimes, Malachi, you have to lose a battle to win a war.
Whatever. It's not my god. All right, we go into the keep then. Look at this
Yes.
place. What's this town like, Neil? Is it much bigger than? Oh, I think you already said it's not actually bigger than Shirebrook.
Right.
Okay, so it's not that interesting.
It is more densely built than Shirebrook, you said.
Yeah, I think.
Yes,
you
it's
did say that.
fewer people, but in a denser area.
Well,
I think we just have to go straight to the keep.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to have a spell on demand for whenever those guys come back.
Let's go and meet this dwarf. Does anyone remember his name?
You
Okay,
reckon-
I don't remember I don't remember because I as a person am bad with names, Neil. But if he's the guy who like rules over the county that we live in, I feel like we would probably know it.
Yeah, the count.
Well, Malika, you read the letter, so you would know.
Yeah, I know. I did write it down. It's just my card sheet didn't save, so I haven't got the note anymore.
I'm not like Neil. Can you give us
Yeah,
quick, I
Count
feel like it's probably
Roderick
information.
Ironhide.
Okay, Roderick.
Roderick Ironhide.
Wait, is
that's the
Roderick
guy who
his first name?
died.
And oh, okay.
That's the dead dwarf.
And then we're taking a message to.
His replacement. Ooh, I'm looking at my notes.
Wasn't it the son?
It is his son. But I don't think I have his name.
Redbeard.
Redbeard Ironhide?
No, that was the other
That would be
dwarf.
amazing if we walked into that throne room and it's fucking Redbeard.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He was already in charge of the arena somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember
He's
that?
just like, I heard my father died and I came back immediately to take my rightful place as heir. He's like, just throw him in the dungeon.
I guess you guys don't know who his son is because we don't have his name written down, so you must not have heard.
Okay.
Perhaps Baroness Valmont didn't even know.
Sure.
All right. Well, I guess we walk up to the keep then.
Okay.
Is it impressive, the keep? Is it
sec.
impressive?
One
Oh,
sec.
sorry. Yep.
I assume Ironhide was his surname.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
keep is impressive. Definitely, it's a keep. You know, it's not like, oh my god, I'm starstruck by the magnificence of this building, but it's, you know, it's a fucking castle.
So
Is it better than Baroness Valmont's keep?
This town is better than Shirebrook.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Okay.
it's denser. All the architecture is way better because you know it's buildings stacked on buildings and big walls everywhere. And you know the keep is in the middle of town and it's up on this raised platform with walls. And then there's the defensive structures and then there's everything in there. It's pretty cool.
You know, Kine, maybe the counts will be more interested in the disappearances than Baroness Valmont, especially given he's a dwarf and it's mostly dwarves that have been affected until recently, I suppose.
Good thinking. Yeah, we should mention it.
Well, let's get the official duties out the way first and
Of
see if we
course.
can't find ourselves invited to some sort of dignitary feast or something like that.
I don't know if I'm in the mood for a feast.
Yeah, no, I am pretty full up.
But I think Jeeves had quite a lot to eat too.
Let's be honest now, ain't nobody inviting Jeeves to a feast for dignitaries.
Oh, poor Jeeves.
No offense.
How are you, Jeeves?
I'm fine, my lord.
Fucking going cold turkey over there, Jeeves. I can see you.
Oh, it's okay. The swan was roasted.
All right. Yeah. That's not what I meant. You
Sorry,
know
my
that's
lord.
not what I meant.
I shouldn't make jokes.
All right. Well, Jeeves, go and speak to the guards over there and see if you can get a meeting for us.
Right away, my lord. Jeeves hurries off down the street at the front of the keep, talks to the guards, explains to them presumably who you guys are and what you're doing here, and jogs on back to you, saying, "The new count will be accepting writs of homage starting tomorrow morning."
Right.
Shall I find you a room?
Yeah. See if you
Absolutely.
can find somewhere to put the carriage and all of that.
Very well, sir.
I'm gonna go and see if there's any wizards in this town, Van. You're welcome to come with me, or do whatever you want. But
no, I think I'm going to go take a quick nap. I'm a bit tired at this point. Think I could do with a little more rest.
Right
Well-
away. The mighty fine ale house. I'm sorry. The mountain view is just over there. It's right adjacent to the mighty fine ale house.
that sounds delightful.
Excellent.
Well,
He drives you guys down the streets, kind of yelling at people to make way for your carriage, until you guys arrive at Mountain View. It is a 3-story town inn with a nice view over the city walls to the mountains. Directly adjacent to it, is a place literally called Mighty Fine Ale House.
Mm-hmm.
And adjacent to that, on the other side, is another tavern called. None of you guys read Dwarven, do you?
someone does, right? Van?
I read Dwarven.
I do too.
Okay, those of you that can read Dwarven, it says Blackened Cup in Dwarven. But it's Malachi, you just see Dwarven writing on the front of it, and a small door. It's definitely not sized for humans. It's like segregationist how small the doors are.
Mm-hmm.
How many dwarves are in this city? Is it like 50%? Less? More?
Looking around, it's maybe 15% dwarves. There's also a bunch of halflings, but it's still overwhelmingly human. So
Is this really the best inn, Jeeves, or is this your idea of a joke again?
Oh, I could ask around for another, sir, but the guards told me that this was the best inn in town.
Well, if it's the best, I trust you, Jeeves.
Well,
Wait, the inn is sized for dwarves?
No. One of the taverns is sized.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the inn
I
is
was like,
human
I'm
sized. Yeah.
I don't care how nice this inn is. I'm not crawling through a 4-foot tall door.
Kine is looking at the inn. Well, that is a mighty fine building. Can trust with a city led by a dwarf that has some good ale houses. Well, shall we get rooms?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I think, unless there's anything specifically to do, Van's going to cast Nap on himself once he gets a room. And when he wakes up, it's going to be time for some spells.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do while Van naps?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go and find a magic store. I'm going to talk to a guard and ask them if there's any wizard stops.
I want to go into the Dwarven Tavern.
You
I
are
think-
literally going to have to get on your hands and knees to crawl in. Right? How tall are you?
6 feet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to crawl
Crouch
in there. Which you can do if you want, but let me see. What's the average dwarf height that we have? Dwarves are like 3 feet to 4 feet tall. So the door is maybe like 4'2". It's like probably too short for dwarves. Like a door that's just a little. You can pass underneath it, but it's uncomfortably short. It looks like it's designed to make it uncomfortable for humans to enter. You can do it though. Absolutely, no questions about it.
First of all, how much for a room?
That's included in our monthly expenses.
Yeah, all of our monthly expenses are paid that way.
Yeah, I will enter it. Or do
So-
you want to do Malachi first?
Well, we're gonna go to break, but I just wanted to know what you guys are doing beforehand. So you're gonna go into the tavern. Malachi's gonna go looking for a magic shop, but you're gonna find out in a few moments that there's no magic shop in town. And Van Helsing's gonna go take a nap. So we'll see you guys on the other side of our break with more Hardcore Heroes. Bye.